Hello and welcome to Real Estate Today. I'm your host, Laura Harbison, broker-owner of Realty Executive Southern Nevada Properties. And today I'm here with Jeff Eno of Accredited Pool Service. And hello, Jeff.
Hi, Laura. How are you today?
Good.
Yep.
And we're going to talk about the different types of things that can happen to your pool, different pool repairs that would be needed, and when you know you need that. So,
Yes.
Jeff, what are the most common things that you see in your business with regards to, pool repairs that are needed?
Gotcha. Well, the typical, we'll go long-term. We'll go to long-term and break it down maybe down to short-term.
Sure.
Long-term, I would say plaster is a big need for repair. Mm-hmm. That's the surface that's inside the pool. It tends to last anywhere from 10 to 20 years. If you get 20 years, you definitely got your money's worth out of the first plaster job. The plaster companies in town typically warranty their plaster anywhere from 3 to 6 years. Sometimes they'll stretch it to 10. It's rare. With today's warranties, everything's getting smaller and smaller and smaller.
True.
But that's a good viewpoint of looking at your plaster is if you're in the pool and you feel it's really rough, almost like like you're walking on smooth gravel.
Mm-hmm. It tears up your feet a little bit.
It tears up your feet. Yeah, the kids are in it, say, for 2 or 3 hours, and they come out and their feet look a little ragged. It might be time to replaster. Also, more visible signs are, I call them potholes. Mm-hmm. They're small holes. They can start maybe about 1 to 2 inches in diameter and up to 1 to 2 feet in diameter. But typically, they'll start on the radiuses of the steps or on the first step of your pool or your first step of your spa. You start seeing spiderweb cracking and potholes. It's starting to show its age. Yeah. And plaster, what a lot of people don't know, plaster is porous. It's very much like your skin. It absorbs a lot of stuff that's in the pool water. So it's getting beat up with minerals. It's getting beat up with the bombardment of chemicals we have to put it in on a weekly basis to keep the water blue and clear and clean. Right. So it's, for the most part, it is actually a pretty resilient product, but granted, it does need to be maintained properly, but then again, it also needs to be replaced in certain intervals of time.
So the maintaining, I see when, I'm watching a pool service, they're brushing.
Yes, brushing the walls helps. We typically don't brush the bottom unless it doesn't have a cleaner system, but if it has a pool vac or the in-floor cleaning system, you typically don't have to brush the bottom. You do want to brush the walls, though, pretty much every week. Okay. And that helps get the debris, loosen the calcium, so the acid that's in the pool, the lower pH will eat the minerals and help prolong. But the biggest thing is draining the pool. If you can drain your pool every 2 to 3 years, get fresh water in it, you're getting a lower mineral count of water in the pool, you're starting fresh, your plaster will love you forever. Not forever, but
for hopefully 20 years.
Yes. It will last a lot longer.
Okay, so for anyone out there that takes care of their own pool, those are good tips.
Yeah, a lot of homeowners, they pride themselves on, my water's 10 years old, which is great. I mean, you're saving the water, you're not using as much water, but the downside of that is your plaster's taking a beating as well as your tile. You're getting a lot of calcium buildup, and I do see that quite often in older pools where the homeowner themselves maintain it. And there's nothing wrong with a homeowner maintaining their own pool. They just need to be, I think, more...
They need some tips.
They need some tips on definitely draining more often.
Yeah.
And
the brushing.
And brushing. And even a light acid wash. And make sure if you do hire someone to do an acid wash, you get someone that's reputable and has done a lot of acid washes. I've probably done 5,000 acid washes in my 30 years.
What?
Or more.
So if somebody doesn't do the acid wash, right, what?
It will etch. It will etch, and it will feel like the stucco on your house. That's how rough it'll get really rough.
So it can really eat into it.
It'll eat into it, and it'll leave it etched and rough and not advisable. And with my experience in doing it, I've done many, many acid washes, thousands. Mm-hmm. I can tell once it's drained and I'm in it, what percentage acid I'm going to use, how much acid. Does it need a chlorine wash when I'm done doing the acid wash? There's a lot of things that are detailed that you should know once the pool's empty and you start. It's just not look at it, I can do it, this is how much it's going to be. I can give the ballpark of the price, but once you're in it and it's empty, you get a better look at what it needs.
Yeah, what balance of chemicals.
Yes.
That you need to use. So, I see the pitting in a lot of pools.
Yes.
And that type of thing. What about equipment? How long can you expect your pool equipment to last?
Equipment is about the same, believe it or not. It's anywhere from 10 to 20 years. If you're lucky, you get the 20 years out of your pool pumps, your filters, your automation systems. Things to look for are, the other thing that you won't get good age out of is your motors. Your motors are going to last 3 to 7 years. 3 years if you got, I don't want to say a lemon, but if you got something that you just didn't have good luck, you're probably going to get about 3 years out of a motor. If you're lucky, you're going to get about 7 at max at the top end of it. Okay. Anything after 7, you're just in overtime, and it's bonus.
And it's good.
Yeah.
Oh, they run and run and run.
They do, and they're you got to think they're taking a beating at 120 degrees and 20 degrees. So it's 20 degrees in the winter and it's 120 in the summer. Everything's expanding and contracting, and the motors just they do take a beating, and they're out in the rain and yes, but a lot of people think covering it helps. It helps a little. It does not help drastically. So covering your pool equipment, it does help. It doesn't help tremendously.
Right. It's more for cosmetics.
Yes.
Than anything.
It does help, but it's minor.
So yeah. Well, and I've noticed that even with the ongoing maintenance, the pool equipment tends to spring leaks. What are the
leaks? Oh, pumps. When the pump, sometimes the fittings that screw into the front of the pump and top of the pump, those will leak. That's a fairly easy repair. Sometimes the valves that are in front of the pump, the O-rings inside of them need maintenance because they are just O-rings.
Heard you mention O-rings.
Yes, it's so dry out here that we just take the lids off, put new O-rings on them, put them back on.
And that keeps the seal.
Yes, that keeps the seal. Therefore, you're not sucking air. Like if you see bubbles in your pump,
that's not good.
That's not good. That means you're sucking air before the pump. Mm-hmm. If you see bubbles in your pool shooting out into your pool, it's also your pump sucking in air from somewhere. Okay. And you need to identify that and get that fixed. It's not a 911, but it's something you need to put on your list to do fairly quickly. Got it. Because the leak won't fix itself, right, and it won't get better. It will only get worse. It can only go one way.
Well, and it's natural with the pressure between the changing of the temperatures and all.
Yes. And the dryness.
The dryness and the pressure of the water going through there. So
yes.
The pressure that's on all of those joints and
the
connections and everything all the time.
And the lack of humidity. So the O-rings dry. When the pump's not running, it just
dries out.
It dries out very quickly.
It dries out quickly. What about the filters? I know you said you clean those about every 20 weeks, but
yes, we went from long term to short term. Yeah. After the motors, we do suggest replacing filters. Typically like an oil change in a car. If you change the water out in the pool, we do suggest within the first few months of the new water being in, you put new filters in. Okay. Maybe not right away, maybe 1 or 2 weeks afterwards because once we put new fresh water in, we do add a lot of chemicals. Okay. Let's let the old filters absorb all the filler, all the junk that the chemical companies put in besides the true chemical. We try to use quality chemicals, but they all put fillers or binders. Everything's gas to hold together.
So that's going to end up in your filter.
Right. Let's get it all.
Which is a good thing.
Yes. So let's use the old filters. 2 weeks after you drain it, and the chemicals are actually in the water, and all the residue and all the junk that's in the chemicals are in the filters. Let's throw those out and put new ones in. Just like an oil change on a car, they change the oil.
So that makes sense. So I would have thought, oh, you do everything at the same time. So obviously that little delay,
you can,
but that delay should extend the life of your filter.
Yes, and yes, so. not a great amount. I just, in my opinion, I tend to like to use the old filter.
Just a little bit.
Just
to get that initial.
Yes, and you can do it all at the same time. It's not going to hurt them drastically, but it's just that little extra. Let's wait. And then,
So what do you do? And I suppose this would be more of a structural repair. Your tree or the neighbor's tree, the roots.
It's never your tree.
Yeah.
It's always the neighbor's tree.
The roots are looking for your pool.
Yes.
And I've seen that because I see the upheaval on the pool decking
I'm sure your inspectors see a lot of that.
Yeah.
And they probably write it up, and the fix is never cheap.
Right.
It's jackhammer out the deck. Mm-hmm. Alleviate the issue, meaning dig out the roots. If you're smart, get rid of the tree. If it's the neighbor's tree, at least dig out the roots as far as possible.
Yeah, somehow block it.
Yes, and then you can there are,
Do like a berry?
yeah, I've worked with my concrete guy a lot. He's helped me a lot. I've learned a lot of stuff. They'll put a moisture barrier on the inside of on the outside of the pool, and then backfill the hole, compact it, re-pour the concrete, retexture, paint it, the whole. It's a process, but it does happen a lot. And with the older homes, especially up here in Henderson, everybody has trees, and the landscapers unfortunately aren't on the same page as the pool builders, and they put trees too close to the pool.
Gotcha. Well, and when it's a little stick, you're not so worried, but then
Yes, 20 years later.
25 years later.
It's a 30-foot tree with roots that are going wherever the water is. And it can feel the moisture through that thick concrete of the pool. It will feel the moisture.
That's amazing.
Yes.
That's amazing. Well, thank you for being here today. Thank you for
Absolutely.
all of your advice with regards to pools. If you have any questions regarding pools, definitely see the contact information for Jeff below. Feel free to give me a call anytime. I always love your feedback on our shows. And looking forward to seeing you next time on Real Estate Today.